I just wanted to encourage someone who may be feeling as if they're trapped in a situation that they can't get out of. They feel that either God doesn't hear, or maybe He's not powerful enough to be the answer to their problem. One of my favorite scriptures is Isaiah 40:12, which says that God measured the water in the hollow of his hand and meted out the heavens with a span. He comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure and weighed the mountains in the scales and the hills in a balance. And that's to say that God is a great, big, awesome God. And I think that we don't realize how big and how awesome he is. And I think that a lot of times we give up in prayer before we see what God can do, because we get discouraged and because we don't realize how bad God is. The Word of God also says that the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. And the Bible also says that the Lord will fight for you and you will hold your peace. And I just wanted to share this one testimony with you, just to encourage you to see how great God is and how he will fight for you and you won't have to do anything. I had a problem with a boss when I was working years ago, when I worked in retail. And this boss would always want me to close up for him and take over his shift because he never wanted to be at work. I was just lazy, I guess. And I didn't want to take over his shifts. I would do it, but there were times that I did not want to do it because I would rather be in church. I'd rather be praising God. So I would do it, always do it. But then after a while, I was reluctant. And it was one Sunday, I was supposed to come in and help him do inventory. And I really didn't want to, but I would have went anyway. But he called me and told me that I did not have to come. So I was glad I was able to stay at church. I didn't have to leave church and come and do inventory. So then I get into work the next day, and he tells me that he cut me down from 40 hours to 15 hours a week. And then I said, how am I supposed to survive on 15 hours a week? And he says to me, and I had bills to pay and everything else like anyone else in the world. And he said to me, well, that's not my problem. We have someone else that's starting, and I had to take hours from your bank of time to give to this other person. And so I said, but the person, and what was funny about it was the person never showed up for work. They kept calling in sick. They were supposed to have been there weeks ago, but never came in. He was trying to punish me because I did not want to take a shift anymore. So I went home and I told God, I said, God, and I rehearsed the story back to God. I said, God, this is what's happening. I need you to do something. God, I pay my tithes, and this is what you said in your word regarding paying my tithes. I need you to do something. So God said to me, don't tell me, speak to the situation. And so the Spirit of God told me to go into work the next day and to pray around the job. So I went into work early. It was retail, so I just went in really early. And everything happened on a Monday is when I got the news that he cut my hours. Then on Tuesday, on Tuesday, I went to work and I prayed around work and I spoke the word, and I proclaimed the word. And then I was about to come in on Wednesday, and I got a call as I was coming in that boss quit. He just came in on Wednesday and he quit. And he's told whomever was at the store that day that if he had been there that day, that he was going to fire me that day. But he couldn't do it because God had my back, because I prayed to God and God had my back. And regardless of whether he hated me or not, the Lord fought for me. So I just want you to be encouraged and know that God can take care of anyone on your behalf, and you don't even have to lift a finger to do anything to fight them. Fight them in prayer. Be blessed.